Welcome to another episode with your favorite sugar daddy, the donut daddy. Today, I've got a big surprise for you. Going to be making from scratch, of course, delicious beignet croissant style deep fried pastry. We're going to get making a nice pastry cream, filling it to the brim, coating it in a crunchy cinnamon sugar, and we're going to be enjoying that with a nice morning coffee. So, without further ado, let's begin. So we're going to start with our pastry cream. Get yourself some nice juicy eggs, and we're going to be getting the yolk creamy, 100 grams with 120 grams of granulated sugar. Let's do it. So make sure you just get the yolk. We're going to be adding pop that yolk. 50 grams of corn flour. We're going to thicken that up nicely. Whisk that now. So we've got that mixture. The eggs, the corn flour, and the sugar. So it's looking like that. We're going to put that to the side. Gut milk, I know I do. Full cream, 500 grams. Straight from the cow's teat. Now we're just getting my milk nice and steamy. So our milk's nice and steamy. We're going to add 1/3 of that milk to our egg and sugar and flour mixture. And we're just gonna stir that up. This is to stop the eggs from scrambling. So we're gonna stir that up. The egg mixture now we'll pour in. So we've got all our ingredients and we've got that on medium heat. I'm whisking that constantly. Do not stop because you'll burn the bottom and you'll get black spots. Keep whisking that until it starts to thicken up. It'll start to boil for about a minute and then you cut the heat and it'll be nice and thick. So we've got our pastry cream and it's getting nice and thick. As you can see, it's coating our equipment nicely. Donut Daddy special cream. We're going to go ahead and add our butter in there. So 50 grams of that smooth, unsalted butter. Go ahead and whisk that in. Now you want to do this relatively quickly. You want to combine it in there while it's still nice and warm. It's going to give us a nice golden silky pastry cream. Perfect to fill our croissant to the brim. Let's give that a little taste test. Not bad. Pastry cream's now done. We're gonna go ahead and put that in a bowl, let it cool down a little bit, about 10 minutes at room temperature. Cling wrap that, put it in the fridge, leave it for a couple of hours till it cools down. While we're doing that, we're gonna be preparing the next stage, which is our beignet dough. Let's get it. So let's get started on our dough. Strong bread flour, that's a bread flour that is high in protein. Usually they're called bread flours. So we're gonna add 1 kilo of that. Granulated sugar, 60 grams. Some dried yeast. Four teaspoons. Salt, 10 grams. Don't put your salt near your yeast. Water, room temperature, 600 grams. Now we're gonna combine that together. Things are gonna get messy. Just beginning to combine our dough. So we're gonna get this going, medium speed, room temperature butter, 50 grams. Put this in just as you begin mixing that buttery stuffed dough till it gets nice and silky. So your dough should be looking nice and sticky icky, smooth. So our dough's looking ready. It's about 29 degrees. We're gonna go ahead and take that off our hook. Give it a window test. Push in 2 fingers, see if it bounces back. Get your dough. I'm gonna try and get a little window through that. Window to the sole. We're gonna refrigerate that for about an hour. And then we're gonna get into cutting that. Make sure you Glad wrap that before you refrigerate it. Then we're gonna get into cutting our donuts. So we got our dough out of the fridge. It's been there for about an hour. We've got our flour. We're gonna flour our surface. Rolling pin. Now, flour your surface, and let's get some of this dough on the bench. Depending how big your bench is how big you need to cut your dough. Got our dough. Give it a little spank for good luck. Maybe get your face in a little bit. Not right now. Now we're gonna roll this out to about 1 centimeter in thickness. So just work your dough. Just work your dough. Just make sure it doesn't. Just working it. Just under 1 centimeter in thickness. I'm going to cut some of these beignet croissants out. So this is the hard part. It's about the shape, having that really good shape. We want these to be as much of the same shape and size as possible. I know it's hard if you're not rolling it up, but again, this is just an at-home recipe, so it's not the end of the world if they're misshaped. So we've got a few triangles. Now we're just going to roll them up. So you start at the bottom, keep it tight to begin with. Start rolling. You can even extend that part a little bit. Bring it over, pinch it together, and you bring it close like that. Isn't that cute? So we've got flour. Really flour the bottom of this tray. We do not want the croissants sticking. We're going to prove these. They're going to almost double in size, so make sure you leave room. Now we're going to put this in a warm place for about an hour. Alternatively, you can leave it at room temperature, assuming your room temperature is around 20-25 degrees, for a few hours, 2 to 3 hours. However, I'm going to put this in a warm place that's around 35 degrees for about 45 minutes to an hour. You'll know when they're ready because they start to puff up, and when you push in, you stick your finger in, it doesn't bounce back. And I'll show you how that looks. So here's our croissant beignet, nice and fluffy. Stroke that crevice. So now we're going to fry these up. Soft little pillars of joy. We're gonna fry these at 180 degrees. So we're just gonna drop a couple in at a time. We've got a small saucepan. We're gonna fry them for 1.5 minutes each side. So we fried them for about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes each side on 180 degrees. We're gonna get our croissant beignets out. So we're gonna fill our croissant to the brim with my special cream. Get that. Poke a hole. We put our pastry cream into a piping bag. We go ahead and fill that. Watch that burst out. So let's just give it a little wipe. Let's roll that in cinnamon sugar. Just make a nice little hot chocolate to go with this. It's got some freshly popped cream. So there we have it, a delicious croissant beignet. Crispy on the outside, cinnamon sugar. I filled it deeply with my special pastry cream, leaking out the side. We made a nice little hot chocolate with some fresh cream. We're gonna dip this and gonna give it a try. Now remember, this recipe can be a little bit challenging if you don't know how to work with dough, if you've never done it before. So make sure you watch the video a few times to get the hang of the dough situation. Make sure you refrigerate your dough accordingly. Overnight's better, although in the recipe I say 1 hour. And let's give it a little taste. Oh yeah, that's incredible. Watch that thing leak.